In this video, I will be doing a review of the classic Foodie Glossary and Meal Planning Sheets pack by Franklin Planner. Hi everyone, my name is Tonya. I make videos on functional planning, organization, and small business. Hi! All of the items shown in this video can be found by expanding the description area underneath the video and clicking on the link. Also, you can save money on the Franklin Planner website by using discount promo code Tonya Plans. This video is not sponsored by Franklin Planner. They sent it to me to do an honest review. Let's go ahead and open it. Now, when it comes to meat and food, it's a love-hate relationship. I'll tell you. I am on Weight Watchers, so I am really trying to pay attention to what I eat. Not just to be skinny, but to be healthy. I'm so excited about these meal planning sheets and Foodie Glossary. I can't wait to see what's included. Now in the description, I'm going to show you this up close. In the description it says you get 53 sheets. So you get 53 pages in these inserts. So the first page here shown is a glossary. And I was really interested in this. Glossary is like in a purplish color, and there are different definitions here. Like I was interested in braise. Now I heard someone talk about braising one time, and I was wondering what in the world is that? And it has the definition here. It says braise is to cook first by browning and then gently simmering in a small amount of liquid over low heat in a covered pan until tender. I mean, I think this stuff is valuable. If you're the type of person that really enjoys cooking, there's probably not many people like me. You know, cooking does not come naturally to me. Like I never know what spices go with what. So what I tend to do is pull up recipes online and like follow them to the T. Like I do not, some people know, oh, you can replace that with this, and I don't know anything about that. I pretty much follow recipes to the T, and when some recipes come out well, they're worked into the rotation. So I tend to fix the same things over and over again. So again, the first page is a glossary of terms. Some of the things they have here is fricassee, if I'm saying it right, dollop, what a dollop is, cube, what it means to core, what it means to cream, baking powder, what it means to barbecue. I think we may all know what it means to barbecue. Caramelize, what it means to caramelize, what it means to clarify. So that's real interesting. So on the back here are more glossary terms: to garnish, grate, grease, knead, mince, parboil, never heard of that word, puree, render, zest. Oh, neat. Okay, so the next page is measurements. These are measurements, and it talks about a spoon here. Let me see. 1 teaspoon equals 5 millimeters. 1 dessert spoon equals 10 milliliters. Over here is like a chart. This column says pint, so you can know that 1/4 of a pint equals 1/2 of a cup, and that equals 4 ounces. I think that's how you read that. I'm not really sure what the numbers in between mean. If you know what that means, please let me know down below. Here are measurements for water. Oh, it talks about what the temperature needs to be to boil water, what the temperature needs to be to freeze water, and that 1 liter equals 2 pints, and so on and so forth. And here, this one talks about a cup. So 1 cup of flour is 4.2 ounces of imperial. I wonder if that's on the glossary, because I don't know what imperial means. If you know, please let me know in the comments. And this one says metric. Sugar, like different types of sugar: brown sugar, confectioner's sugar, butter, raisins. So this is a nice way to be able to know. And you know, this is helpful with Weight Watchers, because sometimes they'll say, okay, well, 1 serving is so many grams, and you're like, what in the world does that mean? And this is good that it will break that down for you. Okay, on the back here, this is a pretty purple and white color scheme going on, but you have 1 column here that says the recipe calls for, 1 column says volume, and 1 column says equivalent. So for example, if the recipe calls for a 9 by 13 by 2 baking pan, That means 15 cups, and that's equivalent to one 10-inch bundt pan, two 9-inch round cake pans. It's equivalent to three 8-inch round cake pans, etc., or 24 to 36 cupcakes, etc. Very, very neat. So it talks about a 9-inch square baking pan, a 9 by 5-inch loaf pan, two 9-inch round cake pans, and so on and so forth here. Very, very neat. This next page talks about ingredient substitutions. Now I need help with this because sometimes you don't have an ingredient and you need to know what you can substitute it with. So for example, if you don't have 1 cup of self-rising flour, you can use this instead. You can use a cup of all-purpose flour plus 1 teaspoon of baking powder and 1/2 teaspoon of salt. Ooh, who would have knew? It also talks about brown sugar, powdered sugar, unsweetened chocolate. You can use substitutes for tartar, cream of tartar, baking powder, and a package of yeast. So that's really helpful to know. On the back here are more ingredient substitutions. So for example, if you don't have 1 cup of butter, you can substitute that by using 1 cup of shortening or 7/8 cup of vegetable oil. It also talks about what you can use in place of buttermilk, heavy cream, sour cream, mayonnaise, plain yogurt, and corn syrup. Next here is a guide to fresh herbs. Oh wow, I've always wanted to grow my own herbs. I've never done that before, but I'm really interested in it. So it says here for basil, sweet and peppery. I guess that's like a description of basil. And with produce, it says bell peppers, eggplant, squash, tomatoes, and zucchini. So I guess it's saying that you can put basil on these produce items and it will taste good. And you can put basil on these protein items, chicken, beef, fish, and tofu. And you can use basil in these items, and this is how you store basil. And I think that is so neat. So it talks about lots of fresh herbs here. It talks about dill, lemongrass, mint, oregano, parsley, rosemary, and etc. On the back here is flavoring with spices. Neato. So it talks about, for example, what do you use allspice for? You know, I have allspice and I'm not really sure what in the world to use it with. I think I bought it for a recipe and like never used it again. But it talks about allspice is earthy and sweet, and this is the produce you can use it with. This is the protein you can use it with. You can also use in soups, desserts, and breads, and it pairs well with these items. So this is really, really handy. Turmeric, it talks about that you can use turmeric with these items, with produce, protein. You can use it in and it pairs with. So that's real helpful to know. And with me being spice challenged, I really, really like this because, again, like I said, I never know which spices go with what. That's going to be very, very helpful. Okay, next, this talks about how to stock your fridge. How interesting. Okay, so in the freezer here, it suggests that you put in your freezer quick breads. Okay, I see here. Okay, this is how long things can stay in the freezer. So quick breads can stay in the freezer 2 to 3 months. Yeast breads can stay in the freezer 3 to 6 months. Butter can stay in the freezer 6 months. Ice cream can stay in the freezer 1 to 3 months. Because I think I have some ice cream that's been in my freezer longer than 3 months. This talks about meat. If it's cooked, it can stay in your freezer 2 to 3 months. If you have nuts, they can stay in your freezer up to 8 months. Over here it talks about poultry and how long it can stay in your freezer. Seafood. Now this section is about the fridge. In the fridge, you can keep dairy and eggs like milk. It can stay in the fridge 1 week after SBD, probably sell by date. Yeah, 1 week after sell by date. Plain yogurt or regular or Greek can stay in the fridge 4 weeks after the sell by date. That's really interesting. When I see yogurt and stuff like that expired in my fridge, I throw it out. But really, this will help me save some money because I can actually keep those items in the refrigerator longer. It also has here suggestions about how long to keep fresh produce, how long to keep condiments, etc. Okay, on the back, organize your pantry. Ooh, interesting. It says divide your pantry into zones and save time at mealtime. This is giving advice on how to organize your pantry. For example, it says you can put together in your pantry drinks like coffee and tea, or like rice and grains. They could all be in a section, and that way you can find the things when you need them. Okay, how to use a chef knife. Interesting. And it talks about how to hold the knife and how it should rest. Let me see, the side of the knife rests against the knuckle, tuck fingers back, etc. Then here it talks about knife parts, and interesting. Now this is for someone, I can really learn something from these planner pages. On the back here it talks about knife cuts. Okay, so when you're following a recipe, for example, and they talk about alumente, did I say that right? Alumete? I don't know. Anyway, this is what they mean. Cut it like this. It's also called the matchstick cut. Okay, so this just shows you how to do different cuts with a knife. Very interesting. And you know, the healthier you eat, I find the more cutting you have to do. So I think that page is really helpful. Okay, this talks about meat cuts. Now sometimes I see packages of meat in the grocery store and I don't really know what part of the cow they come from. Well, it breaks it down right here. Very neat. This talks about parts of the pork, the pig that you're buying, and parts of the lamb. Very nice. Okay, and so up here it talks about what you can do with each part. So let's say, for example, if you buy rump beef, it's better if you grill it or pan fry it, for example. Neat. Very helpful. I think this is very helpful. On the back here it talks about marinating times. Wow. Okay, so if you're going to marinate fish, for example, at least the minimum you should marinate fish for 15 minutes, but at the max you should marinate fish for 30 minutes. That is very interesting, and has other suggestions here for how long you should marinate items. I'm loving this. Okay, now we're talking about canning and altitude charts. Now I have never done canning, but I work with some people they love canning. They go to like a farmer's market when the produce and stuff is marked down, they buy the stuff and they do something with it and can it, and then they have food for a long time. So this talks about canning, and it says this canning wheel represents the 3 different methods of processing foods. So that is very interesting. This talks about altitude charts. Okay, next on the back here is water bath versus pressure canning. Wow. But it pretty much talks about you water bath can these and you pressure can these. I think that's what it's saying here. Okay, next. Okay, great. Let's see here. I think these are meal planning sheets. Okay, cool. Okay, so next, the rest of the packet are meal planning sheets, and they're all the same on the front and back. And let me show you how these look up close. Okay, so on this side you have your meal plan, and on this side you have your shopping list. So you can jot down what you want Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and so on and so forth, all the way through to Sunday. And over here, make your shopping list. So if you know that you're going to make that special dish over here, you can put what you need, or you need to make sure you have before that day comes, so that you can make sure you pick this stuff up at the store. So I really like that a lot. I like how this is all on one page. So if you plan out your meals for the week, and let's say that you don't want to take this sheet with you in the store, you can just snap a picture of it with your phone and go in the grocery store, for example. That way, if you have a picture, you don't have to worry about Wi-Fi coming up and you making sure you're, in a place where you can get internet and all that. You just can pull up a picture of your meal plan just like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and put these meal planning pages in my binder so you can kind of see how it looks. So I'm going to put them behind my original day on 2 pages. I also in the back here have weekly original planner pages. I plan my YouTube videos on the weekly planner pages, and all of the rest, everything else, my personal life and stuff, I put on the daily planner pages toward the front here. So I'm going to just place these in my binder like so. And I grabbed one of these tab dividers. I think this is so cute. It's one of the tab dividers in the Gingham Farm tab dividers pack, and I'm going to use this for my foodie section. Foodie, that's a funny word. I guess I'm a foodie. I guess everybody's a foodie. I mean, I guess people that like food, is that what they call them, foodies? I guess I'm a foodie. So it looks really, really nice. I like the color on these planner pages. It looks very professional. It looks very well done. I'm loving it, and I'm definitely going to use these suggestions that they have here in these planner pages. But I just love it, guys. And then after these, the glossary and the other info pages will be all of meal planning pages here. Now that I have a foodie section, one of the things that I want to do is I want to put my Weight Watcher meal cards in my foodie section. When you attend the meetings each week, you get a recipe that you can use for Weight Watchers. This one happens to be on making steel oats. But now I have a place to put my Weight Watcher recipe cards. So I'm going to take the recipe cards, use my Franklin Planner hole puncher, punch holes in them, and stick them in my foodie section. This is a great way so when you do come across recipes that you like, you can always just put them in your foodie section. Please be sure to like this video. This is Tonya, helping you feel more organized so this can be your best year yet. Take care.